So it's been a long, long list that Hillary Clinton has come up with of reasons for what happened, which was the title of her book, Why She Lost the 2016 Election. You've got Russia, Comey, Bernie Sanders, the DNC, President Obama, sexism. All of those have shared some of the blame. But now she says that being a capitalist also was a knock against her.
You may be the only presidential candidate since World War II that actually had to stand up and say, I am a capitalist. And you did. Did it hurt you?
Probably. I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to know. But I mean, if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, and I'm asked, are you a capitalist? And I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability. You know, that probably gets lost in the, oh my gosh, she's a capitalist.
Gosh, Mark Thiessen joins me now, American Enterprise Institute scholar and Fox News contributor. Juan Williams, co-host of The Five and a Fox News political analyst. Gentlemen, good to see you tonight.
Good to be with you, Martha.
So, Juan, in the Democrat Party, is it a knock against you to be a capitalist?
Well, I think what the key point here is there are more Democrats who tell pollsters that they identify as socialists, do not see socialism as a threat. And I think this is in part tied into Bernie Sanders. I think Sanders was very clear, and he continues, Martha, on the idea, for example, of guaranteed jobs for all Americans, and that has surprising support. A conservative pollster like Rasmussen has nearly half of Americans saying that's a good idea. Similarly, I think support for things like more people being put on Medicare, an expansion of Obamacare, appeals to people in a way, and I think Sanders has, in a populist mode, more than a socialist mode technically, I think appeal to people who feel as a result of income inequality in our country that they want the government to provide a greater safety net.
That your party is moving that way? Does it bother you?
Well, I think it's really, it's not the party so much, because I don't think you see it among the party leadership, but you do see it among young people who are at the heart of the Democratic Party these days.
I looked at a graph today, and it showed, where most of the new candidates are that are running, and most of them fell between Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
There you go.
Mark, what do you think?
Well, if I was a Democrat, I'd be terrified by those comments. I mean, first of all, she lost to a capitalist, probably the biggest capitalist ever to be elected president. So being a capitalist is not incompatible with getting elected president of the United States. In fact, if she had done a better job of defending capitalism, maybe she'd be president right now. And capitalism is still in this country a majoritarian value, and it's not hard to defend it. I just don't understand why she can't defend it. First of all, you don't call it capitalism, you call it free enterprise, which is what this country was built on. And second of all, it's very simple to defend. In the last 40 years, there has been an 80% reduction in in the worst poverty in the world, which coincided with the decline of socialism across the world and the rise of democratic capitalism. Capitalism and free enterprise are the system that have produced the greatest reduction in poverty in human history. Of course we support capitalism. We don't support crony capitalism, which is what Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton practice, because they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars and they've never produced anything in their lives. It's all through cronyism.
Mark,
as a capitalist, I'm against that kind of capitalism,
well, Mark,
but I'm for free enterprise.
But Mark, it's interesting to me that, in fact, I think Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump supporters have a great deal in common. I think they're both strongly
not capitalism.
Not capitalism.
Hold on,
go ahead.
But I think that if you look at trade and the idea of tariffs, I think you see both Bernie supporters and Donald Trump supporters saying the little guy in America in Rust Belt towns has been hit hard by these trade deals. We don't like it. We're not for unvarnished, unleashed capitalism. We think the government should protect us.
But that's, how? I mean, how protected do you want to be? Do you want
That's
everyone to have a free job?
That's a fair
do you want
debate.
everyone to be covered? Do you want to have,
That's a fair debate, but I think Mark was making the case that it's just the Democrats and that no Trump supporters would be all capitalists.
A lot of Democrats voted for Donald Trump instead of Hillary for that reason. Look, no one is talking about we're not talking about the monopoly guy with the monocle, as the symbol of what America represents. We're talking about the free enterprise system, which allows and conservatives are against big business. We're for small business, free enterprise, which has produced more jobs, more prosperity than any system in human history.
I want to get a quick thought from you guys before I go.
Recession.
I've got like half a minute. Yeah, well, I got half a minute left. What do you think about this chaplain issue on the Hill? Mark, the Catholic chaplain was pushed out. Now Paul Ryan says, you know what, you can stay and we're going to meet next week and talk. What happened there?
I'm not sure, but I mean, I think it's not the chaplain. I think it's not the chaplain's job to go up and give a prayer on the floor that favors or puts his finger on legislation one way or another, which is, I think, it seems what happened. But you know, it's up to Paul Ryan who the chaplain of the House of Representatives is, and if he decides that he wants a new chaplain, that's his prerogative.
He's the only one who's ever been pushed out, and everybody.
And he's a Catholic, and he said very clearly that the tax cut should help everyone. And I guess Paul didn't like it, but now feeling the political backlash and thinking it's too strong, that's why he's opening the door to a return.
Don't mess with the chaplain.
No.
That's the lesson from that one. Thanks, you guys. Good to see you.